Wait till he get a belt.
Yeah.
He ain't did nothing in the welterweight today.
You
When
have
he get
did
a belt,
nothing.
when he
You
get a
have
belt,
did
you want to
You
go
have
over
did
there. Keith Thurman want to go over there, and now y'all want to say, "Oh, I ain't fought nobody," but I got a belt now, so why?
Okay. Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out?
So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out? So why am I go to easy road and you not Sean Porter out?
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.
Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. Someone's got to go for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, this Saturday here in Las Vegas on Showtime pay-per-view.
You can turn out, face the crowd, guys. Big shot, boys. Terrence in the back.
So what I do, YouTube? It's your boy KD in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go on here, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for you, boy, so we can continue to grow. Like we need to grow on this channel, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Alright, so with all that out the window, man, y'all see what the title of the video is. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. So, you know, we just had the final press conference for Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. And I gotta say, this is a very nice preview to the destruction that I know will inevitably ensue on July 29th, right? And if there's one thing we could say that we know for sure, is that this is gonna be a damn good fight between these guys, right? This is gonna be a damn good fight. And the press conference told us everything we need to know about how good of a fight this is actually gonna be. So let's start from the very beginning with this whole press conference, right? Which was the stare down. So first of all, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, I mean, these two look like they want to kill each other, right? These two look like they want to kill each other, right? And I can see all of where it comes from, right? When it comes to Errol Spence, I know that Terence Crawford is highly irritated that Errol Spence has been ducking, dodging, maneuvering, and pivoting his way around the fight all these years, right? And I'm sure that a part of the aggression and a part of the anger that he feels towards Errol Spence is because of that, right? When on the other hand, Errol Spence, I believe that his anger is derived from Terence Bud Crawford still being there after all these years, all the running and all the excuses that he made in order to not take the fight. I believe he's upset with Bud Crawford, the fact that he's still in place, the fact that he still got the belt, the fact that his back is up against the wall and he got to take the fight against all his previous advisement by Al Heyman, against all his better judgment, against all his fanboys' wishes when they kept advising Errol Spence to price himself out of the fight by offering Bud Crawford 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, whatever he gives them, right? Against all the better judgment that he has, he's getting in the ring with a Terence Bud Crawford, which is something that he really didn't want to do in the first place, right? So here he is, right? Upset with himself that he actually signed a contract. Upset with Bud Crawford that he's still there, right? So, you know, these two are very angry, very fiery, you know what I mean? The intensity is definitely there, right? And then you had the stare down, which I think it's pretty clear to say that Bud Crawford won hands down. But, you know, real boxing fans understand that stare downs, they rarely mean anything in the larger scope of things, right? right? They rarely mean anything. But there is a percentage of the time where the stare down can really tell what's gonna happen in a fight, right? And I believe that this is one of those scenarios, obviously, right? Because Terence Bud Crawford is the better fighter, but not only is he the better fighter, he has a track record. He has a track record on finishing what he started in the stare down, right? He has a track record, especially at welterweight, with 10 straight knockout victories in a row and a record of 39-0, right? So, although the stare down, right, doesn't necessarily mean anything, I believe in this case it does. You know what I mean? Because Terence Bud Crawford is that dangerous. Terence Bud Crawford is that skilled. Terence Bud Crawford has a history of being a man of his word. And if he say it's gonna be a fish fry, god damn it, I tend to believe him in this situation, right? You know what I mean? God damn it, I tend to believe him in this situation. You know what I mean? So that's that, right? And then, if Errol's day wasn't bad enough after losing the stare down, right? If his day wasn't bad enough by sitting across from a man that he knows is gonna destroy him, right? As if his day wasn't bad enough by losing the stare down, he loses the coin toss too, right? which I know he was pissed about. I know he was in the corner like, God damn it, right? I gotta walk out last, right? Despite what all his ridiculous fans were telling him the whole time, Errol, you're the A-side, Errol. You're the A-side. Right? But you need a Terence Bud Crawford in order to generate $20+ million, right? That doesn't sound like an A-side to me. Needing the B-side in order to generate high revenues, right? You know what I mean? And this further proves my point that Errol ain't no damn A-side, right? Because an A-side would never agree to this. A A-side would never agree. Can you imagine Canelo Alvarez agreeing to a coin flip on who walks out last? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Anthony Joshua agreeing to a coin flip on who walks out last? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Floyd Mayweather agreeing to a coin flip on who walks out last? Can you imagine Oscar De La Hoya agreeing to a coin flip on who comes out last? No, you can't imagine it. You can't imagine it because those fighters were real A-side fighters, right? Errol Spence is not a real A-side fighter, right? That's why he had to agree to this. He had to agree to this. And I use the word very, very literally when I say he had to agree to this. He understands that this is the only opportunity for him to make $20+ million in one fight, and he want to get that bag. The only way for him to get this type of money was to get in a ring with a Terence Bud Crawford. Floyd Mayweather don't need nobody else in order to generate to get a bag of $20 million plus. Oscar De La Hoya don't need nobody to generate $20 million plus. Canelo Alvarez don't need nobody to generate $20+ million. Anthony Joshua don't need nobody to generate $20+ million. These dudes can do it fighting Carlos Takams. Floyd Mayweather generated 900,000 pay-per-view buys by fighting Andre Berto. That is a real A-side fighter, which Errol Spence is not. He needs a Terence Bud Crawford in order to make this kind of money, right? Therefore, he had to capitulate. He had to capitulate. And he had to agree to a coin flip, which I may add, he lost, right? He lost the coin flip. So Bud Crawford will be walking out last and having his name called last, right? Which is how it should be, because Bud Crawford is the real champion in this situation, because he's the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world in the sport, right? And Errol Spence is trying to take that title away from a Terence Bud Crawford. So Terence Bud Crawford should be walking out last, should be announced last, should have first billing, because he's the real champion in this situation, in which case Errol Spence is not, right? But I know the fanboys aren't gonna agree with that. No way, KD. Errol Spence is the A-side KD. He does the better pay-per-views. Right? I know what you niggas are gonna say. Right? But Errol disproved your point by agreeing to a coin flip. Right? And then we had a little exchange between Bo Mack and Derrick James. Derrick James gotta be the lamest motherfucker, bro. He gotta be one of the lamest motherfuckers I've ever seen. Lame Derrick James. You know what I'm saying? Lame. That nigga is lame. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Derrick James, bro, one thing about him, bro, I could tell he got real mad. He got real mad when Bo Mack said that these niggas have been hiding. I love that little comment by Bo Mack.
It's funny, y'all, because ain't no more hiding. You can't hide no more, Derrick.
Bo Mack said, ain't nowhere to hide. Right? Ain't no more hiding. Ain't no more hide. Ain't no more easy route. That's what he really wanted to say. That's what he really wanted to say. That was really what Bo Mack wanted to say. Ain't no more easy route, Derrick James. Right? Ain't no more easy route. You can't fight for Errol. You gonna watch your fighter get his ass whooped. Right? You gonna watch your fighter get his ass whooped. And you can't do nothing about it. You can't protect him no more. Right? You can't protect them no more. You just gotta watch from the turnbuckles. You just gotta watch from the sidelines and keep that towel ready to toss it out at a moment's notice if shit get too bad, right? So I thought that comment from Bo Mack was poetic. It was the kind of comment that I believe us Terence Bud Crawford fans were looking for this entire time, because there's no doubt about it. Errol Spence has been ducking, dodging, maneuvering, and pivoting his way out of a Terence Bud Crawford fight for the last 5 years. Excuse after excuse why he can't get in the ring with a Bud Crawford, from Bud gotta get a belt, even though Mikey and Danny with no belt. He gotta collect his belts on his side of the street, but again, fighting Mikey and Danny with no belt, right? To the wrong side of the street, even though he's trying to get in there with Jeff Horn and Canelo Alvarez, who are two guys on the wrong side of the street, right? Then the 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, even though Sean, Mikey, Danny, Ugas all got at very least 40% in order to fight a Terence Bud Crawford. So many excuses. The exact comment that we were waiting for this entire year. This entire time throughout the build-up of this fight. Ain't no more hiding, Earl. Ain't no more easy route. Ain't nowhere to go, fam. Right? On July 29th, can't nobody fight for you, Earl. Right? So in my eyes, that was just the most impactful statement made throughout that little exchange between Derrick James and Bo Mack, right? And then, Derrick James tried to make little comments about Bo Mack's weight and cheeseburgers and whatever the fuck it is that he want to say. But at the end of the day, Bo Mack ain't fighting. It ain't about whether or not he's overweight or not. It ain't about that. It ain't got nothing to do with Bo Mack fighting or being in shape or not being in shape. Bo Mack ain't getting in the ring. Terence Bud Crawford is getting in the ring. And guess what? He in shape. God damn it. He in shape. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say about Bo Mack weight, but guess what? His fighter in shape and ready to go. And on the 29th, Earl gonna get the much needed, well deserved, highly anticipated ass whooping that we all been waiting for, right? So that was that, right? That little exchange between Bo Mack and Derrick James, that was definitely a cool little part of the press conference. And then you had all the jibber jabbering between the fan bases, the Errol Spence fans and the Terence Crawford fans. It looked like it was their friends and family that was out there. It don't look like that was the actual fan base. But there was a lot of jibber jabbering, and Bud Crawford made a statement where everybody need to kind of chill because it can kind of go left real quick, which it could. You know what I mean? It can go left real quick. You know what I mean? So I think that was a really good comment that Bud Crawford made, and you could just tell that Bud Crawford's like a ticking time bomb, bro. Like, that dude got a temper. That dude will take somebody motherfucking head off, bro. And he got into a little exchange with some dude on Earl's side, and it was going back and forth, and you can tell that Bud was probably about one little reaction, You know what I'm saying? One little comment away from climbing down off the podium and going to see by some smoke, right? But he understands that, you know, his money's on the line, and he has the self-control now at this age to be able to turn the other cheek in them situations and keep it pushing. But, you know, this is the same story. This is why I'm glad that this fight wasn't in Texas, right? Because if this fight was in Texas, I mean, Bud Crawford already got situations already when he was going to Texas, going to Errol fights, right? Trying to make the fight with Errol Spence, pulling up at his fights, and he would get these fanboys or these people in the crowd that are trying to fight Bud Crawford, right? Bud Crawford is a fighter trying to fight Errol, but you got all these weak ass niggas jumping in the way trying to fight Bud in place of Errol Spence. Like, nah, nigga, Errol is the fighter. Let Errol fight Bud. I don't understand why these niggas want to interject themselves in the middle of two men. I don't know if that's a Texas thing. I don't know what it is, bro. But when two people got smoke, you let them settle the smoke. But that don't seem to be the case out there in Texas, right? All these dudes want to jump in the way in between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and 25, 35 niggas want to fight Bud Crawford, right? So I'm just really glad that this fight ain't in Texas and that we can avoid that whole goofy shit, right? You know, Bud only need to be worried about Errol Spence. Errol Spence only need to be worried about Bud Crawford. These dudes shouldn't have to worry about they fan bases, you know what I mean, tussling out of the money, you know what I mean, or fighting one of the fighters and stuff like that. Like, that shit don't make no damn sense. And I hope that Vegas got everything under control to the point where we ain't gotta worry about nothing silly happening out at the fight or outside of the fight or nothing like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But all in all, man, I mean, this was a great final press conference. You could feel the emotion, you could feel the passion in the air. You could see that both fighters are ready to fight. Both fighters mean business. Both fighters got a lot on the line. Their reputations on the line, got a lot on the line in this fight, and they gonna bring it on the 29th. But y'all know who gonna win this motherfucking fight. And y'all don't need me to say it again, but I will. Terence Bud motherfucking Crawford by 9th round stoppage, right? But let me know what y'all thought about the press conference, bro. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit the goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, bro, I'ma holla at y'all, man. Peace.
Mike, Spence and Crawford are fighting. Who wins?
Who's the king of the welterweights?
I think after seeing their fight, Porter and Crawford, I think you've got to lean towards Crawford now.
For the race with Spence and Crawford.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody know who won that fight. It's like Errol Spence.
Okay.
Errol Spence, he be looking young in that level in 6 rounds.
Crawford's a bad boy, but Spence, you know, Spence is a pressure cooker, so if he can maintain with Crawford early, then he can make a good fight. But if he ain't on his game, they might be right.
Crawford reminds me of me, bro. So I'm pretty sure you know how I feel about that. Ain't nobody else gonna say that, but I'ma say it. The way he approached that shit, he don't see none of them guys. He don't care nothing about none of them guys.
Got him!
You a smart man, but not that smart.